Welcome back to my channel. Good to see you. My name is Jess. This is Juliet. We call her Jules. She looks like she got electrocuted because I tried to wash her hair this morning and it dried like this. Jules is almost 2 months old, but she was born 6 weeks early, so she still feels very much like a newborn, and she spent the first 3 weeks of life in the NICU. So we're in this transition stage of figuring out life with a newborn, life with a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old, and it's a little crazy and great. They're great. We like them a lot. First, today's video is going to be an informal Q&A. So on my Instagram the other day, I had you guys submit questions. Got a lot of really great questions, so I'm going to be answering those very casually. I still have wet hair. I showered at Becca's house. Becca's here because we have no hot water at my house. I don't know why. Today's video is a partnership with a brand that I love called Built. So Built bars are protein bars that I eat on the regular. I eat a lot of protein bars lately because of breastfeeding and chasing my kids around and not having time for like real sit down meals. And these bars are delicious. So this little box that I brought here is the one that I've been loving the most lately. But Built has, I think it's 18 different flavors of bars, and they're really delicious. So to me, they taste like a truffle, kind of like a candy bar. Look, this one is 150 calories, 17 grams of protein, and the flavor is candy cane brownie. I love it, super Christmassy. My kids love them. If you're following on Instagram, you've seen that like first thing in the morning, Wilson will try and get one of these bars because he knows where they are. Eloise loves them. Sean uses them when he goes skateboarding. The whole family is into these right now, and we have all kinds of flavors at my house. But I'm loving them. I think you will love them. If you use my link below, you can get 20% off your order of Built bars, and that will just be automatically applied to your order when you check out. So use my link. These are great. We can eat them together. Okay, first question I got was, how is Jules doing? And overall, she's doing great. When she was in the NICU, her heart rate was dropping when she would have reflux. That's what we think was happening. That's what kept her in the NICU every day that we thought she was going to be getting out. She would have a heart rate drop, a bradycardia, and that kept her in longer. So when they first released her, they sent us home with monitors to make sure that she was okay and that we would be able to know if something was happening while she was sleeping. And we've had no scary moments, really. In fact, she doesn't use the monitor anymore. She's not on medication anymore. But her reflux is really painful, and she cries a lot, and she has a hard time sleeping, and she has to be held up right after she eats. And so I just think that's hard for her. And for us, it's okay. The fact that it's our third child and we know that it's probably our last child, that actually gives us perspective when we're taking care of her. Just that, I don't know, these moments are precious and they won't last forever. Like, I was just in this stage with Wilson last year, and already I don't remember details of it. And that is kind of comforting to me when I'm having super long nights with her, is just that even though it feels like it's taking forever while it's happening, and it's super hard. Like last night, after I think it was 3 or 4 hours of soothing her, feeding her, holding her upright, then trying to feed her some more because she was hungry again, and then more crying, just ongoing crying for hours, 3 or 4 hours. I ended up crying and needing Sean's help. Like, it's hard, but I'm not super discouraged by it because I know that we're gonna get through this stage pretty soon and it's gonna be all right. I just more feel bad for her, and I'm trying to keep that perspective because it helps me get through. Will her reflux resolve with time? And yeah, that's what I understand, that it will get better with time. How much time, I'm not sure. While she's suffering and crying, I'm like, I hope this ends tomorrow. Right now, I still hope it ends today, but I think it'll probably be a few months, maybe. Did you experience postpartum hair loss? And if so, what do you recommend? Yeah, I've experienced postpartum hair loss with all of the babies, and I actually don't really do anything other than there's a vitamin I take from Hello Bello, but you can get it from anywhere, that are like specifically like hair, skin, and nail vitamins. I know Trader Joe's has them, and I do take a vitamin for that. But what I understand to be true, I don't know if this is definitely true, is like while you're pregnant, you're not losing the normal amount of hair that you would lose for whatever reason. And so then once you have your baby, you lose a lot of hair. That's how I understand it. So it feels like you're losing way more than you would, but maybe it's just that it's all happening at once versus happening over 9 months and then into now. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how someone explained it to me. Next question. How are you doing? You're a wonderful human. That is really nice. I'm doing overall really good. I think that being able to connect with you guys brings me a lot of joy. Doing this business, we have a business called Very Good Mothers Club. If you guys have not checked it out, please do. We have an online shop and really wonderful gifts for people, and that business has brought me a lot of life. We started that in September, and that's been so fun. And I think that I definitely have low moments. I'm really in tune with how I'm doing, and I tell my doctor quickly because I'm afraid of getting depressed again and going through the whole thing I went through after Eloise. And I think that actually is helping me. So I'm much quicker to let people know if I'm not doing well, and to be able to tell someone if I need a nap or I need to, I don't know, do whatever to try and take care of my mental health. I also listen to a lot of podcasts while I'm working, or read books on Audible. And I find that if I can keep my mind engaged with other things, I don't get discouraged. And when I nurse, I watch shows. So right now I've been watching Schitt's Creek because I think it's hilarious. And I do that to just kind of keep my mind out of any sort of, I don't know, like negative thinking that happens when I get discouraged and tired. Do you want another child? I don't, but maybe in a few years I would be open to adopting. I love the idea of foster care and adoption. After having Wilson, actually, I felt like I could be good with 2 kids. And then this little baby was a surprise. Sean always thought he wanted 3 kids, so that's cool. We had talked about 2 or 3 kids. And then, yeah, I don't think I will give birth to another child. But perhaps if life looks like we can handle it, then maybe another baby in a few years. But for now, I'm gonna say no more babies. How do you know that you're ready for a baby? Sending love from Germany. That's really sweet. Great question. I don't know. Sometimes babies surprise you. If you would have asked me if I was ready for this baby, the answer would be a definite no. And yet here I am, and I'm so thankful she's here. And I just don't think you regret babies. Like, I think life can be really hard, and you could feel like, man, my whole life got flipped upside down when I had that baby. But the person themselves, you were gonna love, and that child is going to be one of the most important humans that is in your life for the rest of your life. And when you die, that is somebody you are going to treasure, cherish. Like, that's who is going to be your person, and one of your people. And so, yeah, so I think you know you're ready when you feel like, okay, I want to do this. Like, I'm ready to take this on. But at the same time, you just might not feel that. And either way, it's going to be all right. Just get a lot of help. Receive as much help as you're able to get. How is it living in California right now with the lockdown and coronavirus and the kids? So I live in Los Angeles, and right now we're on a severe lockdown. Like, they've closed so many things, and it's actually causing a lot of controversy because small businesses are suffering, and families that don't have income are in desperate need for help. And yet it seems like maybe wealthy people are getting wealthier, and it's all very tricky. For me personally, how am I affected? I'm affected in that my kids are home with me. There's not school for an option for Eloise. Parks are closed, which is challenging with kids. Sean was working and is not working. However, that's actually kind of a great gift for us because he's helping with the kids so much, and we were able to start this business. So as long as we are receiving unemployment, it's a great gift. If that is not happening, which right now it's not happening, right? Unemployment is not coming right now.
Not as right now, they're trying to.
Yeah, okay, so as of right now, we're not getting it, but we were getting it, and so then it felt really wonderful to be able to be provided for. we're still getting something, right?
Yeah,
But not the like
Right,
fuller
yeah,
amount.
yeah,
Yeah,
mhm.
okay. No, she always knows all the details. Anyway, and then with having her, I think the hardest part of it has just been not having family come to visit and having all these, I don't know, just the fear of sickness for people is rough. So yeah, how is it for you guys? I would love to know. You can leave comments about what life is like for you. I know that there's goodness in all of it, and I am so ready for this whole thing to be behind us. How many naps does Wilson take during the day? Does he still sleep with white noise? He takes one nap during the day. Occasionally he'll take a second nap if he's really tired, and he does still sleep with white noise. I like it. Our living space, I really like it. It is small though, so like in his room, if he didn't have white noise in there, he'd be able to hear everything happening in the living room right outside his room, and I just think it would be distracting. I don't mind the white noise thing. I've gotten feedback as if like having a sound machine is so much extra work, or like if you have your baby sleep with a sound machine, then you have to travel with the sound machine. I don't care. Like for me, that's okay. I could see how that would bother some people, but for me, that's been totally fine. So all of my kids sleep with a sound machine, and actually I even have my phone on a white noise thing for 30 minutes before I fall asleep, because it just, I only do that right now because if I hear her, then it makes it hard for me to sleep, and she's a loud sleeper. And then, yeah, so we all sleep with sound machines, and we like it like that. Having 2 under 2 as challenging as you expected. I'm thinking about having baby number 2 soon. Yes, it is definitely as challenging as I expected. And I heard that it is going to get a lot easier when she gets bigger. So if you're going to have 2 under 2 and you're like planning it that way, then I guess what you plan for is to know that that first year or so is going to be really demanding, and if you can have help, please like receive help. But then it's awesome, and they're little buddies, and you're going to have fun, and it's cool because all your baby stuff is already out. It's already all around you. You've got diapers, places, you probably have baby swings and a high chair and all of that stuff, so you'll just flow right through with your second baby. So all of that is really cool, and your body's, it just had a baby, so in a sense, like, it's not that crazy to be pregnant again and to go through that whole thing again, because it's all very fresh. And then it is challenging, and then it is great. My first gap between ages is a 4-year and 2-day gap. So Eloise is June 25th, Wilson is June 27th. That gap was pretty awesome because it was just so long, and Eloise is such a helper. We didn't plan that like that. We just didn't get pregnant in between, and I thought I would have my kids closer together. I think if I was gonna pick a gap, not that this is the best gap, this is just what I had in mind, I would have done something like 2.5 to 3 years apart, because that's what my sister and I are, and she's the best, and we have a really good friendship. So I was kind of hoping something like that for my own kids. But I've got a 4-year gap, and then I've got a 15-month gap, and they're both a party. There's just pros and cons to both of them. I don't think there's like a best way to do it. You should just do what feels best for your family. When to start a routine with a baby? Mine is 1 month old. That's a great question. I don't really remember. Do you remember when you start routines with babies?
Like 3 months.
3 months?
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a little bit of a weird spot because she is 2 months old almost, but she acts like a newborn, like a very fresh little baby. Do you think so too? Like a little fresh baby?
Mm-hmm.
To me, she still seems so little.
Yeah.
So then I think I'm going to be a little thrown off on when I'm starting my routine. I guess I'm just going to be behind, but that's okay. The benefit that I feel right now is that even though she still feels like a fresh baby, I don't feel like I just had a baby. And you know, when you just have your baby, you're like emotional and kind of all over the place. I mean, I'm still bleeding, so for that, that's a little unfortunate. Just saw you on Say Yes to the Dress with Carly. Oh, yay! That was so fun, and Carly's awesome. They kind of made Carly and Cody, we didn't love the way that they portrayed Carly and Cody. They were super fun, and like that day was so special and wonderful. And I think if I remember the episode right, like they showed a tense moment about the rain or something, and Carly and Cody like feeling stress or something, but it really wasn't that intense. It was wonderful. And I passed out during the wedding, and they were so nice to me. Like, just to speak to who Carly and Cody are, they are amazing. If you don't know them, Carly also has a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and she's just wonderful, and she's about to have a baby too. Balancing motherhood and being a wife, feeling like co-workers, how do you do that? Yeah, we're in that stage right now. Some people are better at that than others. Sometimes life allows for you to be better at that. Like, after I had Eloise, I remember just like feeling more connected and more intimate with Sean in special ways, maybe because it was our first baby and it was like, look what we did. But then still you're like surviving, right? And right now we are very much in kind of survival mode. So we try and make happy connected moments where we can, but there's just not very many right now. So we're reminding ourselves often that like, this is a stage and we get through this stage and it's going to be better. So I don't know. I'm sorry that I can't give you too much help there because we don't have a lot of answers either, but just know that it is temporary. And so you find connection where you can, and then know that on the other side of it, you'll have more time together. What Enneagram number are you? I'm a 2 with a strong 3 wing. How do you manage Wilson being gentle with his little sister? It's tricky. Yesterday night, he threw a shoe at her, and so he's not always gentle with her. But one thing that helps is Eloise is very gentle, and she shows him what to do. The other thing is we show him what to do, and then we also just try and protect her from him, so he doesn't get like a lot of freedom to be just him and her together. I'm always right there, or Sean is right there, or Eloise. But yeah, we just say, gentle buddy, gentle, and we show him what to do, and we say no, and it's just probably gonna have to be persistent on that. Oh, many people have said, how do you know your baby has reflux? My doctor told me. So if you're not sure, ask your doctor. ¿Volverás a España? Will I return to Spain? I hope so. We want to go for a visit next summer, and then the dream would be to go as frequently as we're able. I want Spain to be a part of my kids' lives, and I just really love people there. We have a lot of really good friends there. Who introduced God to you? Oh, and then there's another question right next to it that says, have your views on religion changed over the years? So, okay, real quick. Yes. Yes, they have. They've always been changing. I don't know how much you guys know about me. It depends on how long you've been around here, but I grew up in Colorado Springs, which is, at one point when I was there, it had the highest number of Christian churches and Christian organizations per square mile of anywhere in the US. So it was like Christian land. And I was around a lot of Christians. My family there was lesbian moms. So I was raised by lesbian moms in Colorado Springs. Back then, being a lesbian wasn't cool. And especially being in Colorado Springs, that was like a really controversial thing because there was focus on the family there, which at the time did not do great at interacting with homosexuals and homosexuality at all. In fact, they caused a lot of pain in the way that they went about that, however well-intentioned they were. And so yeah, my family, we probably would have said we were Christian. We did go to churches at the time. I have memories of several churches we went to, and we believed in God for sure. And then Christian beliefs were kind of, my mom's actually split up when I was at the end of high school, and now they have new relationships. So I have a lot of moms. My dad also, so my parents divorced when I was young. This is the backstory. Parents divorced when I was young, so I have a dad. He's also wonderful. He is remarried. So just imagine all the moms, all these Mother's Day cards that need to be sent out every year, because then I also have honorary moms. I have a mother-in-law who I love. A lot of moms, right? Anyway, my views on God when I was young, they were always shifting, and I was learning from my parents, and I was learning from these Christians I was meeting at school, and I had gone to Christian churches with friends. Then when I got to high school, I went to Christian churches like as part of my social life. It's what my friends did. I also partied and things, like I don't know, I'm saying that because I wasn't like a squeaky clean teenager. And then my real like faith in God came when I was 17 years old. And that came out of a really hard time of my life, actually, where I was bulimic and I was cutting myself, and my sister too was in the same spot, and she ended up being hospitalized for her kind of eating disorder. She was put on suicide watch. And at that point, I remember thinking like, gosh, I just love my sister so much and I want to help her, but everything she's struggling with, I'm struggling with too. I also wanted to die. I also, had the eating disorder. I was just a mess. And I felt like if life is worth living, if God is real and life is worth living, then I need to know that. Because if God's not real, I didn't understand why we would all try so hard if we felt that dark. So anyway, I started pursuing kind of going to church as a means of figuring out if God was real versus just going to do what people were doing. And it led me to a point of, this is like a much longer story. And I've made videos about this. If you go back to like my real old videos, I think when I was in Barcelona, I have longer stories. But ultimately, it all led me to a point where I decided to put my faith in Jesus. So the Jesus that I know of in the Bible, that's who I believe in. And then a few years later, I ended up in YWAM, Youth with a Mission, which is a Christian missions organization. That's where I met Sean. And then we worked for that organization. We worked within it for 10 years. So I met Sean when I was 18 and we got married when I was 20. We worked with that organization and traveled all around the world. And Sean is a professional skateboarder as well as started a ministry through that organization. So faith in God and religion and all of that was very, very much connected to how I did life, how I've done life in marriage, in my adulthood. And then within that, I worked in the fashion and entertainment industry, all in like a ministry type sense, but I had like real jobs getting to work as a backstage director at different times. And I don't know, this is all like a much longer story that I'm trying to condense. Basically, my point being, for every job I've ever had, faith was very much connected to what I was doing. And I think as an early, like 20 something, faith was so new to me that I think I had a very black and white view of the world and of humanity. It was just sort of like this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. And what I have come to now in my older years, so now I've been believing in God for, I don't know, like 14 years or something. I'm 32 now. And I think that I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. That's it. I mean, you don't have to believe in this to follow me. I'm just telling you who I am. But I do think that life is more gray than I understood. I used to think it was a lot more black and white, and I think now there's just things that I don't know the answers to. There's, I don't know, life just looks different than I expected. And so I want to believe in what is true, and I want to love people really well, and I believe that is who God is. There's a Bible verse that says God's kindness leads us to repentance, meaning God's kindness leads us to turning away from things that would be not God's best for us. And so what I know to be true, God is kind, and it's his kindness that leads us to him. And in being led to Jesus, he leads us out of things that aren't best for us. And that looks different in a lot of different people's lives, but I hope that the things I do would be done out of love and out of kindness, and would be able to invite people to a relationship with God in that way, because that is what has carried me through for all of these years. And now my family, they all believe in the same God as me. So we didn't grow up that way, but all of us, my sister, my mom's, my dad as well, like all of us now have this faith. So anyway, that's really special, and that's a long answer, but I hope it helps. Okay, I'm gonna end this video because it's so long. Thanks guys for being with us. If you need more support in your parenting journey, join us on Facebook. I don't always respond to DMs, but the people on Facebook are awesome. So the group is Jess Hover and Friends, and you answer the questions. One of us will let you in. Really great people there. And you can follow me on Instagram. Check out our business if you haven't yet. Continue shopping the Very Good Mothers Club. Thank you so much for supporting us in that way. and we will see you very, very soon. If you have topics you want me to talk about in future videos, leave that in the comments below. I always love to get ideas from you. And you're doing so good. If I can be a parent, anybody can, because, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just guess and then tell you what I'm trying. Okay, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye.